Welcome back to another Power Hour with me, Lauren Powers, your host, the founder of the Fierce Female. I thought I'd promo my own shirt today. I think it's the only time I'm wearing it out of 25 experts because I am talking to a fierce female. So I thought it was appropriate. She is just fabulous, fierce, fearless, and all of the F's. We'll get into that a little bit later. But mainly she is my friend, and she is a powerhouse of a female. She's amazing. She's helped me in so many ways, and she's a coach, a best-selling author. I mean, all of the good stuff. She's been there, done it, knows all the heavy hitters in the speaker empowerment industry. And so we're going to get down and deeper with my friend Crystal Davis. Yay!
Yes, I'm so honored to be here with you, and I love your whole branding, Lauren. This has been a journey for us, hasn't it?
It certainly has. I mean, I'm trying to think back when we first met.
I want to say will it be going on 3 years this summer?
I guess, was it at Joe Bauer's event or?
Yeah, it was
in Vegas.
In Vegas. We met in Vegas, and yes,
what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yes.
I'm kidding.
You saw me up there with Joel, my mentor for life, one of my mentors. I have many mentors. We all need a mentor. We all need coaches, right, Lauren?
That's right. That's a good point to bring up right early in the program, because we have them, we are them, but
right.
You know what I mean? It's always good to learn from people that have a mentor. So if you're listening to this, right, straight away, if you don't have a coach, or you're in a program, or you're dealing with depending on what the subject is that you're trying to do, whether it's finance, building your health, your wealth, your happiness, your relationship, whatever it may be, make sure you get a strong coach that you resonate with. So
yeah, that is
resonate
key.
With each other. We coach each other.
And I totally resonate with that, Lauren, because and I know when Joel had me in the front of the room, he used me to demo and then held up my book, because I'm a #1 international best-selling author for the Authentic Driven Life.
Yes,
book
you are.
And workbook, because we all need to work on and discovering our purpose and developing an unshakable confidence so we become unstoppable, right? And deliver our message to the world. It's what it's all about. So you came running up to me after that session, and it was instant. We instantly connected, didn't we?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
in Las Vegas.
You were struggling to get your book out, and looking at behind the scenes, I mean, it's a lot of work, you guys, and we've got to dive in deep though with our story, Lauren, as you know, and our stories are what matters, and we know stories are the way we connect with our audience, correct?
That's correct. I'm writing that right down. I'm taking notes too, so if you guys listening, take some notes, because Crystal blurps out these golden nuggets. You never know when they're going to pop out. So you don't.
Yeah, you don't. Well, and I know our story, our mess becomes our message. So like I like to say. Yeah. And I think we really connected on a deep level with the competitiveness as being a champion. And it brings me to my story of when I was a competitive ice skater, skating with 4 Olympic gold medalists that were mentored by Carlo Fassi. I was young. I was persistency, showing up to go that cold rink every day for my figures, for my program. I had a mindset coach. I had a physics coach, my conditioning coach for health, running, so I can condition, so I could do that 4.5-minute program. And then you had ballet and jazz, and I had 4 coaches going through that process. And as an athlete, Lauren, the importance of having a coach. Again, you guys, we can't do this alone. I don't care where you're at in your life, even if it's a life coach or business coach. And I suggest both. It depends on where you're at in your life. But becoming a champion from within, and with our dark stories, Lauren, I know you and I both have a past. We both have been shut down to the point we've lost our own identity. And, you know, it's important for me. I'm all about women empowerment, and we need to dive in deep and really find the champion within us, become the best versions of ourselves. That's what life's about, to become the champion, to become the leader. And the leadership is huge for me as well, coming from direct sales network marketing. So let me back up. So yeah, I really resonated with you just from your physique. Obviously, you don't miss Lauren in a crowd. You're just the life of the party. And when you walk in a room, you guys, you want to light up that room. You know, especially in networking and connecting with your audience and communicating. Communication is key as well, and connection, right, Lauren?
Absolutely.
You know this. And you being shut down when you were a firefighter. I mean, I remember you sharing that story and the discrimination.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, for women empowerment, you guys, I've worked with many, many top coaches in the world. And I have to say, you know, Lauren, my defining moment, as you know, was my 911 story, where I had filed for divorce. My ex had walked in the door. My 2 daughters were upstairs taking a bath, and he had decided that I wasn't getting the house, that I needed to pack up and go, and I didn't want to discuss it. Went upstairs, take care of the girls. He came after me, grabbed me by the arm, picked me up, threw me down the stairs. And in that moment, I was like, oh my God, never again will I lose control and not have someone control my life. And I went to call 911, grabs the phone out of my hand, says, no one has control here. I have control. I start screaming to my daughters to call 911 upstairs, and he went ballistic. And my daughter screaming, crying, I went running upstairs. He's grabbing the phones out of our hands. And in that moment, Lauren, I had lost control of the situation. And I could not even protect myself, let alone my 2 girls. And ding dong, the doorbell rings. And my 9-year-old daughter, Kylan, had snuck to the basement to call the police to have her father taken away in handcuffs. And that was 13 years ago, you guys. So I was so shut down. I had lost my own identity. I had to find myself and find deep down in my purpose and reason. I had lost myself. So the best decision I made was hiring a coach, which led me into leadership and walking the stage and direct sales and building up those other women to define that a man is not a plan for those of us. And right now, with everything going on in the world, Lauren, there is a lot behind closed doors, a lot of fighting with relationships and the communication. And I have actually a client that is dealing with that. So I'm very much on this journey of empowering women, especially that are living in silence. And it's hard to speak up, and you're afraid. You're afraid of what being judged, just like here on camera. You know, I was so shut down, I couldn't even get in front of the room, share what I did. So it's been a journey, 13 years to build up to where I'm at today. And I know you get this.
I do get it, but the message is very clear that you could have been shut down. You could have used him, you know, destroying you as a woman and his wife and all these things, and as a mother. I mean, that's devastating for anybody. That type of domestic violence is so huge, and it is prevalent right now, and especially now because we're in this lockdown.
Yes.
People can't get away from each other, and of course that's going to cause tension and heat, and we got money problems and all these things can fuel this kind of within each other.
Fuels it.
But
yeah,
you know what? But look at you now. But Crystal, you're such a living example that you didn't let this take you down, and now you speak on it. You share your message. Being very vulnerable and open about that is huge, and letting other women know that it's okay to find your voice, speak up, stay true to yourself, and become this role model and coach. And you know, now you're helping women all over the world find their voice, right? I believe that's your
Right.
program.
It's all about finding your voice, and Voice to Visibility is one of my programs.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until, I went on this journey to find my own voice and unshakable confidence. I have the confidence, as a competitive ice skater. I did go to the Junior Olympics and I did take a gold medal for state backing up. So I do understand becoming a champion, right? And I had lost all that. I had just, and it was the emotional piece that was actually worse than the physical, Lauren. And so many people live in that emotional abuse, torn down. I mean, even from our family. And it's like, we're shut down. It's like my mom, and there's jealousy. There's jealousy out there, you guys, in climbing the ladder. No matter what and where you want to go, it's always, for me, I help people find their voice as a speaker, because I know what it's taken me all these years, and I've spent over $500,000, Lauren, to find my voice. But I've worked with some amazing coaches and earned multiple certifications, got the #1 best-selling book, but you definitely need to be careful, with who you work with, and check them out. And that's a big, big thing for both you and I, Lauren, as we both know.
Well, yes, because we want to say yes to everyone. I've been to, since I've started my own journey with women's empowerment and all that's kind of shifted from promoting big fitness events and competing myself and being champion like you. I just like, everybody's so good on stage. They've got their speak to sell program, their invisible closes. Like, we've met them all, and you want to buy from everyone, and you can go personally broke if you want.
Oh yeah.
And then the problem is we don't implement. We get home with all these beautiful programs, and then we're like, it's so overwhelming. We don't do any of it.
Yes.
So it's
exactly. You shut down, and so many women have shut down. I mean, I've been to hundreds of events. And I have to say, I've been, it's just like you, Lauren. Every time we turn around, you're at an event, or you're like reaching out. Oh, I just met Les Brown. And Les Brown was the man that was another defining moment, sitting in Eric Worre's audience when I was a direct sales leader, because I was walking the stage, you guys, top recruiter, top sales. I built $1 million sales teams. And I was all about leadership and empowering women in that arena. But you're that gerbil in the wheel that goes. It never ends, in that arena. And when he asked the question to the audience, are you living your purpose? Are you living your dream? And I sat there and I thought, no. I felt like I was in the Shark Tank. I had all these other direct sales leaders, big companies trying to recruit me into their company. And I was shut down again. And I thought, I'm not living my purpose. And when I coached, after ice skating, I was injured and then got out of the ice skating arena. But then I did first year of college, I was the ice skating instructor up there. And coaching again, and coaching these leaders and people, I know when you combine your life, and your life is somewhat in order, your business takes off. And it was from that first coach I hired. So I decided to leave the direct sales industry for a while, even though it's in my blood. I've been doing it 21 years. So you name it, I've probably done it. And it's, yeah, I know. We're always approached, right, by companies, and I've launched companies here in the US, out of Canada, and skincare products. And I almost was taken to court again with a company that took me down. They were winning in court. I couldn't advertise you guys on Facebook. There were all these rules. It's just like with the algorithms now, what words you can and can't say. I mean, there's always going to be something. So yeah, coaching at that point, that was when I made the decision to really dive in deep, my limiting beliefs, and get in the mindset of what my purpose was. And it took me on a journey of, I met Mary Morrissey and got my Dreambuilder certification with her, who she, for those of you that don't know Mary, she talks to Bob Proctor, like daily. She's very much spiritually finding yourself and your purpose, and Dreambuilder. So where you're stuck onto a life you are worthy and deserving of living. So I have all these, certifications. Then I dove into Tony Robbins' program with Chloe Madonis and Mark and Magla Pasha. And you guys, Tony, is the rah-rah and the motivation. And I love Tony. And I'm grateful I got my photo with Tony. I learned a lot from him. And beside my bed has always been personal development books. That's all I read. Personal development, becoming, the winner, the champion, from within. And as you know, Lauren, that's very important. Our mindset is where it all begins.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's the mindset. And when you get clear, because at that moment, I honestly didn't know my purpose. And going through Mary's program and then working with Tony, and then it kind of took me down this path and going to all these events, and everyone was like, what do you do? And I couldn't even answer the question. Who am I?
Yeah.
What do I do? Who am I? And now it feels so great to say and help others with that, defining their purpose. And I know I've been put on this planet and I'm supposed to speak. I'm supposed to be on stages or on video or on camera to deliver our message, because your message matters.
That's
your
right.
story matters, right? And the connection going through that journey, I have to say, it's taken me, 13 years to get here. And it was that defining moment. And then working with, my gosh, I've worked with Roger Love, who's the #1 voice coach. I went to him because as a speaker, not as a singer, he is trained, oh my gosh, Jacques Phoenix in that Johnny Cash movie, and Reese Witherspoon within a month how to sing like Johnny Cash. He just, so many movie stars he worked with, Eminem and Shalane G. Michael Jackson, all these stories started showing up. And it's all about, because I was so shut down, and I've been shut down by some coaches to share my story, my 911 story. That kind of took me on a different journey as well. Like the discrimination story with you, Lauren. It's like, nope, you can't share that story. You've got to stick with the champion, the ice skating story. And I'm like, wait a minute. And it wasn't until I found Joel Bauer that I really was able to dig down deep and project and share my story. So it's been a very long process, but I've earned and I've learned from every single coach out there. I've learned a top tip, tricks, behind the scenes. And with Tony, he doesn't teach you the behind the scenes in actually making the money online, on stage, through video. It's that back end piece that was missing. And you know this, Lauren.
Yes, I do.
This is huge. This is really big for all of us entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
And people that want to be speakers, and be paid to speak, not you paying them to go speak at their event. It's a process.
But what I like that you're saying, and so for our audience and stuff, Crystal, too, I want to make sure that they understand that these things just don't happen overnight. So be patient with yourself and really reflect and do the research and look into some of these, speakers and coaches and that are out there, and only pick the ones that you really, really resonate, that have a message that you can relate, that are going to help you, because like you said, there's so many right now.
There are.
It's a bit overwhelming, and if they don't, they can reach out to you, because like I have, because you have done the time and the investment and the money spent to every conference.
Well, yeah, and then writing and researching the book, that was a whole nother, that took me a year to find the right group and the right team, you know, and you don't need a book, you know, and I kind of did it backwards. And, you know, that's the thing. You definitely, you know, with coaching, it's just finding your voice. And then, but for me to write my book and my workbook, I had so many exercises and tools and techniques from my direct sales and from all these coaches. I had a workbook thinking, oh, I'm just going to go do a workbook. And then we self-published. We worked with a publisher, a team, and they were like, oh, no, you're writing a book too, Crystal. And honestly, when I launched, I had until March, I launched in that December. I only had one chapter written, Beautiful You, which is on confident you, looking in the mirror, and who do you see when you wake up in the morning? And that's the big piece. You know, it's like, I only had that chapter, and then I started scrambling, and I'm putting everything in piles, and it's a process, right, Lauren? It's like, oh my gosh. And then to get the story to flow, and I know you've been reading your book online, which is fabulous for you. And you know what? It gives us the opportunity to dive in deeper and read our own book.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting. Yeah. And it's, you know, when you find that great team, and it depends on what you want. But I do know by establishing yourself and becoming a #1 international best-selling author, it can never be taken away from you. And it's powerful. And that will get you on TV, Lauren, and you start pitching to TV stations, girl, and you will land up on the TV circuit again. And, you know, same thing. I worked with another gentleman, and I was able to pitch to 22 TV producers all over the country. And I did land on 8 TV segments, morning segments, and it was my 911 story. And before, I mean, it took a lot of courage for me. When I would first share that story, I was bawling, you guys. And you can't stay in that emotion, and you've really got to lift up. So there's a technique behind that with TV, on stage, and on camera. It's all 3 different, Lauren, as you know, because you've been on multiple TV. Yeah, you've been on all 3 yourself. So you get it, correct?
And it's hard. I mean, I'm a SAG actress, but I claim I'm not that great at cry on cue or stop on cue, but it's getting out of your head. And I know Joel teaches like you breathing, stop, pause,
yes,
collect yourself, collect your thoughts, drop in, and then continue on. And
true. And you know what? Yeah, I think the hardest part for me, you know, as a direct sales leader, I worked with my first coach, and he had me behind a podium, you know, in front of 200 direct sales leaders from all over the world. And some of them were like $1 million earners. And here I'm shaking like a leaf, holding up my note cards, you know, my index cards like this, reading. And it was a 45-minute presentation, and wow. I got a standing ovation, even behind a podium, shaking. And he called me out. He's like, you're getting up and but I didn't share very little on the 911. So you can still do this. I touched on it. You know, I'm building confidence and because we need that for leadership, obviously. Leadership is it's a no-brainer for me. I love leadership. And yeah, it's very important. I think it's very important that we find our voice, first of all, and then what arena you do want to go in. I mean, you can make a great living right now. This online world, like you were saying, Lauren, there is so much noise going on out there, you guys. There is one program here, program there. Do your homework and investigate them is my best advice. And definitely ask for, obviously the testimonials, but I always ask if I can speak to maybe a couple, and I reach out to them and I point blank ask them. Reach out on Facebook, some of their testimonials, and ask what kind of coach and, you know, for what you're looking for, because this is a great, great time for everybody, as you know, Lauren, to find their purpose and dive into maybe some of these programs and write their book. So I wrote my book and workbook in 2 months.
Nice.
And it was pretty much done, you know, and it's gone through some formatting. Obviously, I've read it and gone through a lot of formatting, but I look at that book now. I did it 4 years ago, and I have so much new material that it's time for us, you know, there's another book. We all have a book within us, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where I really want to help people become the best selling author, if that's what they choose, or become the speaker from within that maybe they're born to do, and share that authentic selling story, because it's stories that matter, and it's our message that matters, and how you can make a difference in millions of lives. You have no idea. No one has gone through what Lauren Powers has gone through, or what Crystal Davis has gone through, and our teaching and connection. And we're not for everybody, Lauren. And I'm used to the no's. I don't care, you know, what people think. I've put it out now in social media. And I have to be honest, my girls were not too happy about it when they read my book. I mean, they didn't even read my full entire book. And they were angry at me 2 Christmases ago.
Really?
And yeah. Because I had talked about their father, you know, and what he had done, and put him out there. And I just took a deep breath, and now they understand. It took a while, but now they know the story. And I'm like, girls, it's my story. Nothing to do, you know, it's just my story. And I know I've been put on this planet to share the story so I can help other women, so they don't feel like they're behind closed doors, and they can find their voice and programs. You guys, your story, whatever industry, health and wellness, what if is it love, relationships, there's so many opportunities that are opening up out there, especially on the internet right now. And for you to stand out from all the noise, that's another challenge. Yeah, right? You know, it's like, you know, that's where I've really done my homework and really looked into a lot of programs. And I'm getting ready to start. I have done all of this organically myself. And now it's time to, you know, get the Facebook ads going. But I know a lot of people that have lost hundreds of thousands of dollars doing that too, Lauren. So you really got to do your homework.
There's no magic pill or easy button to push to get it done.
There's not.
Darn it. But what you're sharing, and I think through this whole the common thread through this is just being patient with yourself and taking it easy on yourself, and not, you know, forgiving yourself and pushing through.
Yes.
And having the courage to stick to your story, because you know it's meant to impact people. It's about focusing out. And so I commend you for being so courageous, Crystal, because a lot of people are afraid to do that and step out and talk their truths, because it's not pleasant. And it is being vulnerable. I've been doing it too. I couldn't even read chapter 1 in my own book.
I know. You start crying.
I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like trying to get a grip on my own self. I'm like, what is wrong with me? But
I love it.
Such that open space and just letting it flow, and realizing that being vulnerable is my superpower, and forgiving myself. And it's not being weak, it's being fierce and being strong, and standing in my truths and being authentic. And I know that's where you and I connect so deeply on that level, that we are authentic, we are leaders, we are power women, but we built up to this. We didn't just come out this way.
It didn't happen overnight. It's taken me 13 years to figure this out.
Yeah.
And $500,000. So don't make
a lot of money.
Mistakes. Save the learning curve. That is huge. I mean, that's where I love when I have people go through my Voice to Visibility program, is to getting comfortable on video and the languaging and what you share. And I'm always, you know, speak from the heart, like Joel taught me. Just always speak from the heart. Take deep breaths. I mean, I have to do a lot of meditation, you guys, and a lot of this mindset work every day. And you're going to be bombarded every day, because there's so much going on out there, whether it's your, you know, family, others that may see you. Some people may see this interview and go, oh my God, she doesn't have a clue. You know I have a clue, my own clue, and I know I've helped a lot of clients. So I just stay authentic and true to that. And I know that that's my mission. My mission is to serve and shift 1 million lives and beyond out there through our programs, Lauren, women empowerment, and share our stories and our gifts with the world, because you have many, many stories and many gifts. And I saw that. And when you did your book and then your workbook, I was so grateful to be a part of that at your event, at your event that you had, your first, event.
Women's
and to be up there, to pitch and share your book with the audience and have everyone get out their phone, and buy your book that day. And then you ended up 98 categories.
Yes.
And 11 countries. And
#1.
That is fabulous. It's phenomenal. And now with you reading the book, it's diving in deep in your audience, and you will attract the right audience, but you've got to be visible. We can't stay, and that's been a lot of my challenge. I was afraid to get out and share the story and fearful of being shut down, because I have been shut down.
Exactly. Well, this stuff is not easy. I mean, what we're doing with Crystal and I together, and that's why we're so connected. You have to be fierce, just like my shirt
Yes, you
says,
do.
and dig deep. And I was reading my book. I'm like, I must be out of my mind. What am I? No one's making me do this. I'm like, I just stretched myself. I'm in a leadership program right now.
Yes.
It's all about stretching yourself and what can you do to impact more people, like what you do, Crystal, the same thing, and be so taking risk. I mean, really
big risks.
Putting yourself out there. And I'm telling my story, and I talk about a lot of things, sex, drugs, rock and roll, all of it, man. It's in there.
Oh yeah. And you talk about being vulnerable.
Yes.
Right there.
And then reading it out loud, I can't turn it off because it was live. So I'm stuck. I'm like, okay.
I love it.
Yeah, here we go. And I'm reading it. It was crazy. But
you know what? That's empowering though, Lauren, what you're doing. And I have to commend you for you getting on Facebook, social media, and reading it. And that's huge for you.
That's what I'm saying.
You got to step into the fear, and you've stepped into it. And that's where I know you and I were driven. We've been competitive, and we know we've got to step into that fear. And for our audience out there, you've got to step into your fear.
That's right. Do it anyway.
Either way. And I always start with, what are you tolerating right now in your life? What are you putting up with that, you're saying there has to come a point where it's no more. And you've got to step into your power and your purpose. There's so many people walking around right now, Lauren, that have lost their jobs, or they don't want to go back to their jobs and the 9-to-5 grind. They're sitting on their watching Netflix or whatever. It's like, this is the time to really step into your power and step out of your comfort zone and maybe shoot a selfie video or go live on Facebook, right?
What do you have to lose? I mean, that's the thing that I think a really good tip too is not to be attached to the results.
Yes.
Right?
Or worried how many likes you're going to get. Yeah. Or if anyone's going to come on and watch, and if you get a nasty comment. I've gotten nasty comments, on some of mine. I'm like, so what? I don't care. They're not my audience.
Exactly.
They're not for me.
They're not our people. Hello, no. You don't want to be a fierce female? Turn it off. It's like,
go away.
Right?
That's what I love about you, and you have no fear, and that's where I don't either. I walk, and that's just where a lot of my clients are like, I see you walk in a room of strangers, and you have no fear of going up and introducing yourself and starting a conversation. And
that's what's called networking.
It is. It's called stepping out of that. And what are you afraid of being judged or
most people
not knowing what to say? And a lot of it is not knowing what to say, who you are and standing in your power. Where a lot of people go in there, I mean, you have no fear. I have no fear. It was like, a concert, It's like I will go down and be front stage center and I'll end up backstage.
Right.
There's some rock and rollers out there. I love rock and roll. I love rock and roll. And I know I'm a rock star in my next life. And then I think the biggest thing, Lauren, for everyone out there is turning off the news, turning off the TV, and working on yourself. And like you said, not being harsh on yourself, self-love. It all starts with us. If you don't love yourself, if you don't like who you see in the mirror when you wake up, you have some work to do. And you've got to work on it every day, you guys. And if you're tolerating and you're in an abusive relationship right now, whether it's emotional or physical, please reach out to Lauren or myself. I know I've personally been there, done that. I've been on boards, and you should not be living in that fear at all. And I know I'm here, and why I've been put on this planet is to help people not live in that fear, because I did for many, many years emotionally. And to the point, like I had shared, I had lost my own identity. So I know that's why it's taken me all these years to really find my voice and know that I'm worthy and deserving of living an extraordinary life.
Yes. Yes, you are.
Yes, we are.
Yes, and we're going to do it together.
Yes, absolutely.
We are. And same with the audience, as women, we tend to, put ourselves last. And this has been my passion and purpose too, is to put ourselves first, and mainly in health. Without your health, what's your wealth? And the show is about being healthy, wealthy, and happy. So all three of the triangle, I like to say, one side collapses, everything comes tumbling down.
Apart.
So it starts like what you were saying, Crystal. Start with that self-love. Look in the mirror and love who you see. And if you don't, there's steps and there's systems and there's coaches and there's mentors and there's books and there's all these self-help things, leadership courses, whatever it may take to develop that. That's step one, is love yourself, self-love, self-care. And then all the personal development and the leadership and finding your purpose and using your voice and being visible, and being on camera and taking risk and empowering other women and lifting women up instead of competing and comparing.
Right.
And things are so critical. And this is when you get your message out, writing a book, getting on stages, whatever it is, your lane and your journey, be open to following it and get some help out there, and mainly and help yourself. I mean, there's no excuse anymore to be stuck in these things and these limiting beliefs, and that you were just saying to learn that you are worthy, you are enough. And you matter, and your journey has mattered, because now you're here to change and help and inspire and motivate other women to be champions and collaborate with other champions like you and I are collaborating right now. I mean, this is all where it's at, and it doesn't compare, collaborate, right? Another C word.
Exactly. And as you know, surrounding yourself around that energy, because I was around energy drainers. Yes. And that's so important. Who you surround yourself with. Even if it's your own darn family. No, we don't go there. No. Even if it's your own family.
Even Millie's mad at that. She doesn't like drainers. She tells me when the people are no good to be around me.
Really? Yeah. So that's a really big point, Lauren.
It's important. It's so important.
It is. And our health, the mindset and the health and what we're feeding ourselves. And a lot of people escape and do drugs, alcohol. It's that 6 human needs that I've learned, that we're always evolving, either the need to feel love, the need to feel, give love, receive love, and your environment. What does your environment look like where you're working? For those of you that are entrepreneurs out there, is it crowded? Is it space? Are you working on and staying laser focused? Like you said, the clarity, the connection, all of that is so important. To start with starting in your lane first, the mindset, letting go of those limiting beliefs and the past. The past is the past. We have to learn to live in the present. And the future is the future. And who knows what the future holds, but today, right now, I'm having fun with this interview, and we got to live in the moment, right? And give it our all and be our best selves that we can be. Because we're all on a different journey, and we all go, have many, many stories. And, for me, I know the stories, there's a time and place for each story. And that's I mean, you can interweave it, as you know, Lauren, all the stories in your book. You have how many stories? I mean, we all have, you know, no one's is worse than the other. And I like that you share, Lauren, do not compare yourself with others. This happens a lot with women.
With women, exactly.
Women get very competitive.
It's so weird. And compare. They compare and compete. Both.
Yes.
Instead of collaborating and lifting each other up, they want to kind of tear each other down to lift themselves up. And that's, you know, low self-esteem, whatever you want to call it. But it is an issue. It is an issue. It's an epidemic, I think. I've been around it a long time. You and I are not 20 years old anymore.
No, we're not.
We've been around a lot of, you know, people like this. I've been around a lot of catty women. I've been around a lot of competitive women. I've been around a lot of empowering women. And there's certainly a clear definition of those three categories. And
yes, there is.
Choose, like you said, who we get to surround ourselves with. And so all the women's empowerment groups that you and I both are members of, we support those. We host those. You speak at them. I speak at them. That's because we choose to. And everybody out there listening, you guys have a choice. You don't have to stay stuck in these things that you're not enough and you're not meant for more. And you're, you know, in some abusive relationship or your careers and you're so unhappy or you're not working
or at all. Coach, our family. I mean, it's time to rise up and move on. Even though some of us are stuck in quarantine right now and we don't have a choice, we do have a choice. And now's the time to take the choice and start journaling, start taking care of yourself, start meditating. And, you know, I have a lot of free tools, Lauren, for our team, for our whole audience here.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of exercises and tools. You know, my book and my workbook is free.
Tell us about that. So, yes, you guys, so make sure you stay. They stayed on this long, so let's reward them.
Yeah, let's reward them. And, you know, the best way to find all of my information, because I have live webinars, I have my free book download and The Authentic Driven Life, and also my free book. You want to go to my website, Crystal, and it's CRYSTAL, O as in O'Gwen, which was my main name, and then Davis. So it's crystalodavis.com. And when you go there, you will see the testimonials, obviously, my free book, my free download of that. Then you can also get a hard copy. You only pay $7.95 for the shipping. I autograph it. I actually mail it out to you because I have a stack of them here. I've been mailing out to people. And my workbook, which is the tools. It's a 100-page workbook, you guys, with 35 exercises in there. A lot of things dealing even beyond purpose. What is your what? What's your why? What's your compelling why? And values. I'm huge on values because and all these coaches and experts teach on values. And oh my gosh, I have tons on limiting beliefs. I even have meditations that are free that'll be on my Voice to Visibility Facebook group. And if you go to my website, it's all there. Please join my Voice to Visibility group because I am almost in there posting videos every day, live twice a week, and then also some units on future exercises on video, I have webinars on secrets to connections, which are in this little black book. I have the secrets to connections and how you connect with maybe some of those peers and you don't know how to approach them. So I've got webinars and free. It's all free, you guys. So I have a lot of tools, techniques, and obviously if you want, I also have my scheduling link. If you choose to, if you are in a place where you're stuck, struggling, or abused, you can get on the phone, schedule a 15-minute call with me. It's free, and I'm here to serve. So just wanted to say, go to crystalodavis.com for all the free information, and you'll go in there and see there's a lot you can click on.
That you're being so generous, and I want to thank you for that, because and all the people that I've collected actually that are on the Power Hour show, every single one of them are my people now, and they were my mentors or my coaches, and now my friends like yourself, and we all lead with the same common thread. It's all
Yes.
generosity. We're all here to serve. There's someone for everyone out there. And I've picked, my top 25 to be on this season 1 of the Power Hour for a very good reason, you guys. And so I commend you for being on the show. And
I just got chills, Lauren, because that is so powerful. The women I know you've interviewed, some dynamic women that I've bought their programs and, have followed. I've followed. I think I've bought almost every program out there, and I've learned.
That black book.
So it's so much fun, and I love what you're doing. And I look forward, Lauren, to interviewing you to get your message out to the world and in an empowering way as an expert and as an empowering woman that's fierce, fit, and fabulous. And I love you. I adore you. And I'm so grateful for our friendship. And watch out, world. Nothing is stopping Lauren and I.
Right? Because we're collaborating.
Yeah, we're on it. We're all the way to the top, my friend.
Yes, and why not? Why not us? And so we both have worked so hard on this personal development and our leadership and coaching, and we know we're meant for more, and we put our health first, health and wealth and happiness. All 3 things are in our blood.
Yes.
We're teaching people, we're sharing all of our tribe with you guys. And that's what it's about. It's just sharing and having fun. If you're not having fun and this is miserable, then you're on the wrong path.
You are.
So
you are.
You really are, right? And I know in my book.
Yeah, it was just like that Les Brown. And I'll never forget when, Les Brown was that defining moment. And then here's Lauren last year. Oh, I met Les Brown. Who's Les Brown? And I'm like, you don't know Les Brown? Now she knows who Les Brown is.
I've taken pictures with him. Yeah, the next day I'm at his birthday party. I'm in the room with a 30-minute private coaching with him. He's like, I'll endorse him. He's in my book. I'm like, yeah, just like things happen. Yeah,
yes.
Because I'm open to it. And it's not that this is just so easy and carefree. No, we do the work. And again,
right.
You've demonstrated such patience and staying focused and doing what you're supposed to do, and you're always learning for more. You're investing in yourself constantly.
Yes. Well, that is a very important thing I want to leave the audience with. If you're not learning, you're not growing. And if you're not growing, you're dying.
That's right.
And that is huge.
So true.
We constantly are evolving. Things are constantly changing on social media. And you've got to work with the right people at the right time. And I know it's all divine timing. So that's huge, Lauren, what you just shared, because growth is one of my biggest values, learning and growing every day to become better and better.
Exactly.
Yep,
and
that's
so,
it.
And then so your gift is you constantly updating your information when you're on there every single day. You said weekly, live, and all these gives. And with it really not asking anything in return. You're given a free, a call for these
webinar
people.
Calls. Yep. Call and to connect and see where they're at. Yep. See where they're at, and there's ways, to definitely do the research. I definitely guarantee Google that person and people reaching out to you. I have people all over on LinkedIn, you guys, with my LinkedIn page, and they're trying to sell me their program, their, lead, all, and it's like, you've got to be very aware and very careful.
Or you can go broke and not learn a thing.
Yeah, I'm broken and be on this. Yeah, exactly.
Totally overwhelmed and not do anything.
Yeah, don't get overwhelmed and stay in one lane, like Lauren says. We've got to stay laser focused on that one project, one thing that you're working on each and every day, each and every week, and time management is huge. Huge for entrepreneurs.
Yes, it is. And this is an easy path. And so you're on this show for a reason. You've obviously connected with us. And I just want to thank you for that and acknowledge you for it, because being an entrepreneur isn't easy. Otherwise, everyone would do it. And it's not for everyone. I've never worked so much in my life.
I know.
But it becomes not work when you're sharing and giving and seeing results and transformations in people's lives, and having them become a better version of themselves from the inside out. And I'm not talking about the body. Everybody just thinks, oh, I just teach bodybuilding. That's the least thing that I do. my
Yeah.
book was called Beneath the Muscle, because I'm like an onion,
Right.
keep peeling back those layers.
The
And
layers.
yeah, and so my hope, I've found my own purpose by going through the process. And this stuff, it just takes patience and be on purpose. Find your why. Get a coach. If you resonate with Crystal, I highly resonate with her. I highly, advise you to go and reach out to her. She's done the work. She's spent the money. She's invested in herself. She's been seen, done it all for years. She's not just
Oh,
new at this.
thank you, Lauren.
Well,
That
yes.
means a lot.
Yeah, of course it does, because, I endorse you 100%.
Yeah.
Because you've done it yourself, and
Yeah.
you didn't
Well,
just
and I love that. I have to say, handful of my clients, some that I'm most proud of have obviously Mal Pugh, who won the world. She's U.S. soccer team. They just won the World Cup last year, and I'm really good with young girls, because I have 2 daughters, right? And the whole 911 story and confidence. I'm all about helping girls and boys, those athletes, gain that confidence in their relationships, and it's their personal life. And she honestly was really torn and she didn't want to go pro. And I was like, you can write your own ticket, girl. She has this, I have a photo of her with all of her trophies, and her face is just kind of glim. And then now, after, being the youngest on the U.S., women's soccer world, and she went to work, won the World Cup, and she was the youngest on the Olympic team. She's endorsed by Nike, Neutrogena,
wow.
Secret, BMW. She can write her own ticket. And same thing with, martial arts. And then I have women that have completely lost themselves. I've saved lives. Some people do need therapists, though. I'm a coach. I'm here to help you transition on, and I really thrive with other coaches, speakers, women empowerment, obviously, and people that are potential authors or authors themselves that want to write their next book and really lift it up. And getting on TV, radio, podcast, as you know, Lauren. It's not easy. It's a lot of work, but I'm here to serve. So thank you so much for having me here today.
It's been my pleasure. So you guys reach out to Crystal, crystalodavis.com. All her information's in the email below. She's got tons of gifts for you guys for free. Yes, for free. Everything's free. I know. If it's
Go
free,
live. Put yourself out there on video, online, even if it's, personally, social media.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, my dear friend. Thanks, you guys, for staying to the end. You guys are troopers. I hope you got a lot out of this. The Power Hour, till the next session of Power Hour, we will see you on the other side. Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.